Your resume is failing at 3 levels. Getting past the initial skim, proving your value to recruiters, and showcasing your relevant skills. After reading thousands of resumes, I've identified the 10 mistakes causing all 3 problems. And I'm showing you exactly how to fix them with real-world examples. The first mistake seems obvious, but a lot of people dilute themselves by applying to jobs they're not actually qualified for. And here's what I mean. Let's take this job at Snap as an example. It's for Senior Manager of Product Marketing at Snap. When you look at the job posting, you need to go straight to 3 sections: the requirements, the responsibilities, and the nice-to-haves, often called the preferred qualifications. Now here's the test. For each bullet point in those sections, you should be able to honestly say, yes, I can do that. If you can't say yes to every single bullet, then you're tricking yourself. You're wasting your time applying to roles where you're not even competitive. Look, I'm all for shooting your shot, but in this market, you've got to be realistic. This doesn't mean you need to be perfect, but if you're missing then 1 or 2 key requirements, you should probably move on to the next opportunity. Mistake number 2, you know you can do it, but your resume doesn't show it. Here's the reality. Your resume is the only thing a recruiter or a hiring manager is using to base their decision on. You might know in your mind that you can do the job, but if your resume doesn't show that clearly, hiring managers will never know it. Your resume needs to explicitly show that you're qualified. Let me show you what I mean by using the job we just looked at. Let's say this job requires a cross-functional leader who works with various stakeholder groups, like sales, product, etc. Here's what most people would write: worked on team projects, or collaborated with different departments. And the truth is, that's too vague. It doesn't prove you can actually do what they're asking for. Here's what you should write instead: collaborated with cross-functional teams from product, sales, and marketing to deliver $500K of revenue from new product launches 2 weeks ahead of schedule and 15% under budget. You see the difference? The second version directly mirrors their language and proves you've done exactly what they need. All right, moving on to number 3. A master resume is one of the greatest assets you can have in your job search. Let me explain how it works. You use one document to capture everything you've ever done. Every achievement, every metric, every responsibility. Then, when you're applying to a specific job, you just pull out the things that matter for a particular role. It lowers the mental load of applying, and you can grow your application volume without burning out. Let me show you what a master resume looks like. The first thing you'll notice is that it's long, maybe 3 or 4 pages, and that's totally fine. This isn't what you send to companies. This is your source document, your personal database of everything you've ever accomplished. And when you're tailoring for a specific job, you just cherry pick the relevant stuff from this master list. It makes the whole process so much faster. I explained in detail how to make a resume that stands out in 2026 in this video. You should definitely check it out after this one. Mistake number 4 is a lack of tailoring. This one is critical. You need to show the 10% of you that is 100% relevant to them. And it's impossible to have one resume that shows you're uniquely qualified for all the kinds of jobs that you're applying to. They're all different. Even if it's subtle, it matters that they're uniquely different. But here's the thing, and it's important: please don't spend an hour tailoring each resume. That's just not productive. You'll burn out before you land anything. The good thing is, there's a lot of tools out there that can help you with these kinds of tasks. For example, with Teal, you can tailor your resume to a job in minutes. Just click the link in the description to get Teal for free. Let me show you how this works. What you see here is your master resume with all your career content. Then you're gonna go to matching mode and pick the job we were just looking at from the list. Let me explain what the colors mean. Green means it's in the job and on your resume and turned on. Yellow is it's in the job, on your resume, but disabled. This is where the master resume is really valuable. You have the content, you just haven't turned it on. And then red is it's in the job and completely missing from your career history. You can quickly go to any content with the yellow underlines, turn that on, and you're gonna see your score go up. But there's actually a faster way to do it, and let me show you how to do it. You're gonna head over to the settings, and you're gonna go to auto run selection. You're gonna accept it because it's gonna change the contents of this resume. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna go in and automatically try to make you the perfect resume of the right length with the right keywords for this job. Now you've got a resume that's optimized for the right length with the right content. Of course, you can go in and turn anything on and off and rearrange the content as you'd like, but now you've very quickly tailored a resume, and you can do this without burning out. Mistake number 5, overthinking the visuals and the fun part. Stop overthinking the design and the layout. Look, I'm serious. It doesn't matter if you italicize the company name or where you put the dates. People are skimming these things so quickly. And look, I get it. As a designer, the design is the fun part. It's where you can express some creativity. But if the content is good, the visuals just don't matter that much. It really benefits to keep it boring. And here's the thing, those Canva resumes with all the fun templates, they can look good, but they're not practical. They get you out of focus of what truly matters, which is showing your value in the resume content itself. The master resume I just showed you is the perfect example of a clear, organized, and practical resume. It's simple text, clean formatting, no fancy graphics, and it works. I made a video explaining all the issues with Canva resumes in case you want to know a little bit more about that. Mistake number 6, stressing over all the ATS hullabaloo. PDF versus Word doc, fancy fonts, ATS compatibility, all this ATS hullabaloo. Yes, it's a little bit real, but you need to stop stressing over it. It actually doesn't matter as much as you might think. Most ATSs, or applicant tracking systems, are good enough now to accept whatever format you use. They've gotten way better over the past few years. And yes, you should avoid images or problematic true column layouts, but that's not why you're not getting interviews. Let me show you an example. This resume has subtle color headers and a clean 2-column layout. Most people would tell you that this won't pass the ATS, but I've seen this exact format work dozens of times because the content is strong and the structure is still machine readable. So you need to stop obsessing over ATS optimization and focus on making your resume valuable to the human who's going to read it. Mistake number 7, making the reader do the work. You're making it hard for the hiring manager to read your resume. Don't make it overly complicated. Add a target title at the top so they can immediately see what you're applying for, and use a quick professional summary that cuts straight to the chase. They're scanning dozens, sometimes hundreds of resumes. If they have to hunt for what you do or what you're applying for, they're moving on to the next candidate. Look, make it easy, make it obvious, and make it fast. By the way, in my next video, I'll share a new AI tool that can help you with your job search. It works like ChatGPT, but it's better. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Mistake number 8, over-indexing to the literalness of the resume rules. I see people use a 6-point font just to force their resume onto one page. Sure, technically you've checked the box on the being on one page, but if someone has to pull out a magnifying glass to read it, you've missed the point completely. 2 pages is fine. The intention behind the 1-page rule is to be legible, brief, and concise. If you need 2 pages to clearly communicate your value without cramming everything together, use 2 pages. It's totally fine. Focus on the spirit of the rule, not just the letter. Mistake number 9, missing metrics. This isn't just about adding numbers for the sake of adding numbers. It's about showcasing that you can actually articulate your successes in a measurable way. Here's the thing, we tend to believe numbers when we read them. They make your achievements feel more real. They give context. They help the reader understand the scale of what you did. Now, you want to be strategic about how you tell the story with the metrics. Let me give you an example of using the same exact job we've been analyzing. They require someone with a strong understanding of the digital marketing industry dynamics, especially brand advertising as it pertains to video, performance marketing with direct response. Here's what most people would write. Manage digital marketing campaigns, including brand video and performance initiatives. That works, but it doesn't really have the punch. Here's what you should write with metrics. Led integrated digital strategy balancing brand video campaigns. Here's where you can leverage parentheses. 47% lift in aided awareness, 12 million impressions. So now you're connecting the metrics to the action. With performance marketing, 4.2x ROAS across 1.8 million direct response spent. You see how much stronger that is? The metrics make it tangible. They show that you actually understand the difference between brand and performance. Brand metrics are about awareness and reach. Performance metrics are about return and efficiency. When you speak both languages with real numbers, you prove you get the industry and ultimately what the company is asking for. All right, mistake number 10, getting too cute or crafty. Boring, ordinary, and expected is right when it comes to resume structure. Don't get too fancy with hidden data, Just use a reverse chronological resume. That's what recruiters and hiring managers expect, and it's what works. People can tell when you're using tricks, like leaving off dates, using partial dates, or jumping around chronologically. And when they notice, they'll either assume the worst about why you're doing it, or they'll just move on. Just be honest, be direct, and be clear. Follow the norms and conventions. If you don't, people start to question everything about your resume. Look, if you really want to start getting interviews, don't just work harder on your resume and job search, leverage the right tools to grow faster. And this is exactly why we created Teal. It's basically the master resume asset I mentioned earlier, but better. It stores every achievement you've ever had, so you don't have to keep track of them in some huge, messy Google Doc. When you find a job you want, Teal's AI helps you identify that 10% of you that's 100% relevant to that specific role in seconds. It also handles that apply fast rule by letting you track and submit applications the moment they go live. Click the link in the description to get your free Teal account and use the special discount code to unlock the paid features. All right, thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.